This will be Psalms 9, and I'll be showing you the first writer's format in this psalm. And you know now Psalms are not songs, so some of the text that is being removed right off the bat is what's untruthful and makes you wonder, or at least question, why are these formats hidden? And when you see text being added or changed, that's why it's being hidden. But like I said, you don't. I know you don't understand yet. You might be your first time coming here, but the object is that I have been claiming by using the 1611 preface that those that like to change our Creator's word are editing the text today. And let's get into this next one here, and I think that's up. Gee, I'm reasonably, but I know that the lights need to be put on. Sorry about that. I'm trying to add the lights at last here. Like I said, here's the text that I'm going to start with, and shows the verses. These are not true, and this is, I'm going to add the word or title creator here, and down here. Let me get rid of this word and this word because just not truthful. This needs to be changed to 9. I will give thanks to YV with all my heart. I will tell of all your wonders. I will be glad and exult in you. I will sing praises to your name most high. Now, let me check here on the program because I already went through and showed you that it's a different word being used. Well, that's 8. Oops, I need to get, I haven't opened this in a while. This is 9. Where do I have this? This is at the beginning, so I gotta go back up. This has got 20 verses in it, so I'm in the wrong form. I'm on the wrong side of the program here, so it goes slower. So this will be the second verse. Yes, it's the same 2 words as in the last one. These Hebrew words are both the same word, and they changed it to mean 2. They have the Hebrew word ELYON, and you can see that when these 2 were together, they're together 31 times, and they made the word most high. Your name is the highest, though, so not most high, but the highest. There are no other gods. The first person writer would know. So your name is highest. Maybe I better not go and correct that right now. When my enemy turns their back, they stumble and perish before you. For you have maintained my just cause. You do sit on the throne and judge righteously. You have rebuked the nations. You have destroyed the wicked. You have blotted out their name. Not forever and ever, because right now everybody knows their names. So this can't be true. My enemy has come to an end. Perpetual ruins. I don't know about that part neither. If they've come to an end, there's no perpetual ruin, so let's get rid of that. You have uprooted the cities. Actually, it's their kingdoms he's uprooted, so not just their cities. uprooted their capitals. I like kingdoms. And this would be, say, like what I'm seeing here is cleaning off the promised land, that there was, actually people don't know this, but the text reveals our Creator's hidden formats, which is jesusprophecy.com. You'll find it there. And when you read and study that, that's a special hidden format that's really repeatable, which makes it empirical evidence that something that is repeatable and can be repeated over and over and over is called empirical evidence in mathematics. That will be the first text that will be, or English text will be empirical. But the object here is the only time that our Creator went and conquered a lot of kingdoms was clearing off the promised land. Now I know others, Damascus tried to come down. Later, the Philistines tried to make a comeback. But the object is you have uprooted their kingdoms. The only time I can think of kingdoms was at the time of the promised land, because the story shows that, or the revealing of the truth is that Noah landed somewhere just above the promised land, and that's why Lebanon was never conquered by David when he went after, or Joshua. The thing here is that his descendants are the ones that divided up the land, and Shem's lived in Lebanon, in that area. And Canaan, who is said to be, his name is Ham, but just stay with Canaan, get rid of the word Ham, and you'll find that Canaan was the second son, and then the land would have been the one, their kingdom would have been underneath Shem's, and then Japheth's would have been the people that are underneath the Canaans. Now, let me see if I've got that under maps. Let's see. Okay, let me see if that pops up. Oh, it's okay, now it popped up. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about. Noah landed somewhere in here, okay? And then Canaan's land is here and the Japheth's is here. When they cleared off the promised land, they stopped someplace right in through here, or just, no, they stopped up here, okay? Or somewhere up in here. But right now at the promised land, when they went into it, people don't understand it was the descendants of Noah that actually became the pagans here. Somewhere, one of the names of that person became instead of naming it after Canaan, the son from Noah, Philistines were named there, okay? These weren't foreigners that came into this land. So all the people at that time that were getting taken out of the promised land, they had certain little areas of kingdoms. Over Canaan was, what was it? Canaan had moved down to Japheth's because it was Jericho that they first came in. I believe they crossed right in through here because the battles that went on with Moses over here, and then Moses looked down upon the hill country. But the object is the people that were living in this land are actually descendants from Noah. They become pagans, really pagans. I mean, the text says that they were having sex with their children and with their animals. So we know that that's pretty much people being really stupid, but anyways, this is what I'm trying to point to, is their cities were like kingdoms at that time. I mean, they had area, but they had cities that ruled over them, because you'll see then the text oh boy, is it hard to keep the whole entire text into the head. But when Joshua went into the land, he went to certain cities and then conquered the people there in that city and pretty much destroyed that area. So he was going to small kingdoms or their capital city. So this is why I'm saying cities is going to kingdoms. A quick little lesson here in the middle of all this. But YV abides, YV lives. Lives forever. Forever. He has established his throne for judgment. Yeah, I guess it all could be that way. Should. He will judge world with righteousness. Well, he's given Jesus that responsibility, so we're almost kind of like, when did this text get wrote? This person doesn't seem to know about Jesus yet. Right there in them verses, you can see this. Okay? He will execute judgment for the people with iniquity. He will also be a stronghold for the oppressed. A stronghold in times of trouble. And those who know your name, will put trust in you. Whoops, not that much. I'm trying to do this. For you, YV, have not forsaken those who seek you. Sing praises to YV, who dwells in Zion. Declare among the peoples his deeds. For he who requires blood. Let me see here. Maybe I'm too early here with that words. He who requires blood remembers them. He does not forget the cry of the afflicted. We're talking about our Creator. Do you think that they would actually capitalize and give respect to our Creator? So this is me putting respect into the text. That's why I'm not using any capital letters at the beginning. We aren't using proper English. We're going to respect our Creator, or I'm going to respect our Creator by designating all the capital letters in purple here as his, or belongs to his, or belong to him. And Jesus will have the first letter capital, and the text will be red. Even what Jesus says, even what our Creator says, will be purple. He who requires blood remembers them. That needs to be cleaned up. Be gracious to me, YV. Behold my affliction from those who hate me. You lift me up from the gates. You have lifted me up. Now this would mean that there was a battle, and our Creator did not let him die in the middle of the battle. You have sustained me. You have lifted me up from the gates of death. Okay? That I may tell that I don't like using the word may, that I will Okay, wait. So I will tell. I think the word is so I will. So I will tell of all your tell of all your praises. I will tell of all your I will tell everyone. I will tell everyone by praising you. That's even though I'm going to put it like, whoops, I need this color and this color here, just showing you I switched the words, and then praising here has been changed. Oh, how did I do this over here? I must have fat fingered a macro. That's what I've done. Oops. But I want it to yellow, because it was yellow here. And I did this changing here. I have like about 40 macros here on this computer. So anyways, so I will tell everyone by praising you. At the gates. At the gates. At your gates. Our Creator, now what we have here, and it's not gates, he only had, the tent for meeting with our Creator had a courtyard, so that means there's this fence that's around. Either it was done with wood at the time the tent was there, or it was limestone at the time of Solomon's time. So these have to be his gates. Okay, to be truthful, his gates, or his gate. I'm gonna make this a small one. At your gate, because the gate would be entered, so it doesn't matter if there's two hinges there, or I'm trying to think, and I think there is gates, or two gates, but the object is to enter, you have to get past the gate, your gate of Zion. Okay, now that's because if it's the tent, it's by Shiloh. When Joshua went into the promised land, he established, or our Creator established, where he set up the tent for meeting. And what I know by the text is that he didn't create a city around them. You got to understand what was going on there. They were burning meats, okay, for sin offerings. By the way, there's 12 commandments and they are sin. So in the video below, you'll find that link and you'll learn what a sin is. And you'll learn that there's 12 commandments. But here, the priests needed a place to live. People needed to come in to have like a resting place, or a place like an inn to stay overnight. So I'm saying that Shiloh is the city that is near, and it is for the priest to do the service and maintain everything needed for the tent for meeting. And it's got to be probably a quarter mile down the road or something away from it, but they aren't together. The smell wouldn't be there. You wouldn't want everybody to know that you're going up to be forgiven, so it'd be more private by keeping it farther apart. By the gates of Zion. Zion is just the wrong word. By the gates, this has to be for your tent. I'm just looking down farther. Okay, here's a word that was absolutely not needed. This is hard to say, because a lot of times there's text here that is saying pretty much or helps me determine how to correct a word or two here, but it's not the gates of Zion. Mount Zion is the stars making a motion, okay? And this is known as Mount Zion. And I'm going to get into that in Psalm 48. But for them to use the daughter of Zion, you have to understand, if the text is saying Jerusalem, then we have to know that's at David's time. But here, there's no reference in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this text red for right now, because that stands out as a big, hey, what's going on here? That I may rejoice in your salvation. And the nations have shrunk down to the pit. Their nations. I might be overcorrecting some of the text right now, but it's their nations have not shrunk, but gone down to the pit. Actually, it's gone down to the abyss. Now, the abyss is the dark, empty dimension of time and space that our Creator had asked Cain that he can hear Abel speaking to him from the abyss, meaning that he knew Cain had already killed Abel, but Abel is crying to him and he can hear him, and he's asking Cain about his brother. But the object is our Creator, I believe, uses the word abyss, and that means this is where souls were going to up till the time of Jesus, whether you're good or bad or whatever. I guess I shouldn't use it that way. Either you obey our Creator or you don't obey our Creator. They were still going down to the abyss. So down in the pit. Their nations have gone down to the abyss. This we need to add. This we need to get rid of, which they have made in a net. No, that's not going to be correct. They have hidden their own foot and caught. Their nations have gone down. Well, I guess I could have put into here, right? Into the abyss. For they made their own net. For they made their own trap. Or they didn't make, they chose. Because if you understand that this is being that the writer is pretty much saying that he's been in battle and he didn't die, but the enemies that he did fight, this very much sounds like from time of Joshua. Okay, I mean, I'm really getting the feeling of this one as being from Joshua. Joshua's time have gone down into the abyss, for they have, for they have made, they have lived their own life, which they hid for their own foot has been caught. Okay, I need to clean that up later. He has made himself known. Okay, now this is odd because this all of a sudden reads way out of subject here. He has made himself known. He has executed judgment. He has executed judgment. And the works of his own hand. The wicked are ensnared. The wicked return to Sheol. Okay, now word Sheol would be like mentioning of where they are gathered at in the abyss. Okay, so you can see that the way they're thinking at that time, even though they are in the abyss, they were gathered together in by their peoples or their races, I would say, because I've been in the abyss a lot of times, and I understand that yes, I've visited many different religions, or really the evil ones, those that sit and meditate to have sex with a female goddess. I've met them from different races, from kind of different times from the past. So these, so to say Sheol would be that they only understand that there's this one place where they're gathering them, where they're gathering. But actually there's different ones that I would call as a city. Even all the nations who forgot their creator. Well, they didn't forget him. They just didn't accept him or teach. It's, anyways, for the needy will not always be forgotten, nor the hope of the afflicted perish forever. Rise, YV. Rise, YV, do not let man prevail. Let their nations be judged before you. Yeah, this text is not, doesn't have Jesus in it, definitely. So they don't know about other people to be passed from other nations. So when it's hard to say that this took place anytime from David's time. And then you got to realize that there's these, what I'm saying, maybe 200 to 300 years missing in the text, the judges, because the text goes from Joshua setting up the land being passed over to, and he is a judge because Moses was judging the people, and then pretty much when Joshua was establishing the land, he was judging and setting up the land. And then I think it was Aaron's son then became the judge, and then all of a sudden the text changes, and we have the story of Eli, who at that time is still a judge, but there's years that pass by because Actually, there's a division of the two kingdoms already set up. Israel and the kingdom of Judah is already separated, and then we know that David brought them back together. You have to read the text to understand that, but actually, if you read what's on the website, my website, jesusprophecy.com, and read that text, that's a message from our Creator to you. And when you read it, you'll see how many images that I've got in there that comes from the text itself. And you'll get an idea of how I think when I'm looking at editing the text here. And I can just see that when they're using the word Zion here, that could be Shiloh, okay? Let their nations be judged before you. Put them in fear. YV. Let the nations, let those nations know that they are but men. Okay. Now, since I got to the end, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to copy it like the other ones. Bring it down here so as not to lose everything. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to try to get rid of all the editing real quick here by doing this, bringing up this, replacing this, taking that down, Control A, Control copy, get rid of this, hopefully get rid of this, and reestablish, ta-da, and then go up here and go through the text one more, leaving those words alone. What do we have here? We have 2 verse, 2 verse, 2 verse, 2 verse. That's pretty good. Your brute, their nations. And have destroyed the wicked. You have blotted out their name. Let's get rid of that, because that's not really truthful, even though I understand that the writer would have said that by going through and cleaning up the promised land. You can see that this text is coming from this area because it has to be nations. At David's time, yes, there were a few nations, but I'm sure it's talking about let's see, Joshua's time, and they just went through and they've cleaned it up. The enemy has come to an end. Oops. And you have up, and he's given credit to our Creator as getting rid of their kingdoms. See, this blotted out and this here, it's not really truthful, but it does mean that there's a 3-verse format if they were to stay together. So let's see, do I have 3 verse here? I don't see 3 verses. I see those being knitted together. Any sat in judgment for these. And they have the idea of Jesus, or of our Creator, sitting on a throne judging righteously. And this could almost be a 3-verse. For you have maintained my just cause, you sat on your throne judging righteously. No, that's, you have rebuked their nations, you have destroyed their wickedness. Or, I guess, the wicked. The enemy has come to an end, you have uprooted their kingdoms. The very memory of them has perished. Going to go like this, and I'm going to put this in yellow text. And yellow text is, maybe those 2 verses go together and can be made down below or something. But YHVH lives forever, he has established his throne for judgment. He will judge the world by righteousness. He will judge the world for the righteous. He will judge the world for the righteous. He will execute judgment for the peoples. Let's see what we have here. Okay. This door, okay, sorry about that. I didn't even know that was off the side there. That might be a first that I gotta watch in the others when I do this. Let me try to see what this is. Alright, so sorry for the dead air, but the object is I'm trying to figure out this word, whether it can be changed or not. Maybe I shouldn't and then not worry about it right now. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I better just find the format for you. He will judge the world for the righteous. He will execute judgment for the people with iniquity. He also will be a stronghold for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. And those who know your name put their trust in you. Now this is not going to go. Declare, sing praises to YHVH, and declare his deeds. Don't need that. It's pretty much, you understand, the reader would understand. If you're going to sing praises to YHVH, sing praises to YHVH and declare his deeds. For he who requires blood remembers them. So yes, for those that murder, he requires their blood. He does not forget the cry of the afflicted. Be gracious to me, YHVH. Behold my affliction from those who hate me. You have lifted me up from the gates of death, so I can tell everyone by praising you. So I can tell everyone by praising you at your gate by your tent. By your tent, and rejoice in you. I'm just starting to go through and seeing what I can find. I'm gonna have to clean some of these up again. Their nations have gone down to. Their nations have gone down into the abyss, for they have made. That almost sounds like that isn't part of what's going on here. For other nations have descended. I think I can get rid of these two words and use one word. Descended. Their nations have descended into the abyss. For they made. For they made a trap. But that's not what happened. What I'm trying to think is that if they're told to go into the promised land and to conquer it, they didn't make a net. Yeah, this text is not part of this one here. That's obvious now, anyways, to me. So this text doesn't belong here. Maybe it belongs in another writing. At your gate by your tent. Then I can put these back into 2. The wicked will return to Sheol. No, they didn't come from. The wicked will descend into Sheol. I'm just trying to make it correct a little bit here. Even all the nations who forgot their Creator, for the needy will not always be forgotten, nor the hope of the afflicted perish forever. Why they do not let me prevail. That can be removed to keep the 2 verses together. Otherwise, why we let their nations be judged before you? Okay. Because it's really men in power, or man in power, that is corrupt. So let their nation be judged before you, so they pretty much don't are rulers anymore. Put them in fear of you. Let those nations know that they are but men. Okay. Now let me do that again. I think we're getting closer to having the answer here on this one, even though it's a long one. Maybe I should have made it 2 parts, but I think one video is enough for each one of these, no matter how long they are. And I'm trying to put a little speed into it a little bit here. And I'm going to have to take a look at that text in yellow. And I don't think that they're going to be needed. Like I said, they really don't need to be there. And then let's see how this reads. Let's see if this is how it's supposed to read here. Because it's really nice. I got them all in 2 verses anyway. Now let's see if they can be grouped. I will give thanks to you, YV, with all my heart. I will tell of all your wonders. I will be glad and exalt. I will be happy. Well, I will sing praises to your name. Again, these words don't need to be there. When my enemy turns their back. When my enemy turn back, they stumble, perish before you, for you have maintained my just cause. It's really our just cause. Our just cause, you sat on your throne judging us righteously. So this would be, like I'm saying, because I'm really thinking I'm correct at stating when this was wrote or written down by the first writers. You have oops. Okay, I'm reading it. It sounds pretty good. I know that I need more cleanup on the text. But the object is I'm really trying to see if I can add or put two verses together because some of them are reading that way and some of them aren't. And I'm trying to decide what ones going together and which ones aren't. That way, if they do go together and they still sound right, then we have text that's missing. So to reveal the format is one thing. To reveal the right format gives us extra information. Okay, that one can go together. Them can go together. That can go together. That one goes together. This one goes together. Those pretty much go together. This one goes together. That goes together. And this one goes together. Okay. Okay, this has already been said up in here. Okay. This, though it be true, it doesn't need to be in this group. This is not what this writer is speaking from. And I am sure we now have the text that's going to read pretty nice for us as written by a first person writer. Well, I'm just trying to see if the text can. Okay, here goes. This needs to be below this. Now, let me see if this can go in 2 columns. And then a screenshot. I think it can. I think it can. I think it's there, close enough. But the object is you're getting an idea that they're hiding this from you. Sorry about that, but I needed to sneeze. I needed to take a screenshot myself, and we'll work with this again and correct it even more. But I'm really sure that this is now text written at after the conquering of the Promised Land, and that is something quite unique that you can look at text and say that this is not the time of David, that they try to make up the story. Let me show you here. See, they got this up here, a Psalm of David, talking about David saying this. No, you know that's not true anymore. It's really beautiful when you see it here. And what I'm thinking is this has got to be 400 years before David, 300 years before David. maybe about 250 years before David's time. So that I think we can put as this was from one who was conquering the promised land. And that's unique to be able to say that, okay? I mean, you don't know how important some of this text is until you understand what the words are saying. So I hope you enjoy going through and understanding that I'm not trying to corrupt the text. I'm trying to make it first person. And I do know a lot. For example, I keep telling people our Creator made me see him 8 times. Well, I better know more than you. And as you can see here, as how I adjusted, I know I talk and mumble sometimes when I'm going through this, but I've got a lot racing through my head because I know a lot. So the thing here is wait a second, I see these two sticking out here at me like a sore thumb. Wait a second, what did I get rid of here? This here text right here. That looks like it actually could be moved, doesn't it? If we take this text here and move it right here, so I know this is so I can remember later that I've added now this is now that looks a little even better to move text around and make sense. No, I'm going to leave it colored to show that it has been moved. But there, that is better, I think. Well, let's see. I'm trying to get that one verse that was hanging up here over to here. So when you get a screenshot of that, it would be a lot better. Sorry to make you do so many screenshots, but I think that's I'm just checking to see if I have another here. I think that fits there, or it sure reasonably sounds like it could. Either that, or we have to get rid of this, or say that there's verses missing. So this is a possible true, or words are missing, because those words did just read out of place over here. They just, that's what, okay. Okay, enough of me babbling. I think I'm over an hour. Nope, just about an hour, but that is very unique. Okay, see you soon.